Are you addicted to rerolling? Does Samira's style counter get you hyped up? Or do you just like big ol' horsies? If any of those are true, then I got just the comp for you. I'm Spiffboy, and today we're taking a look at Country Reroll. So first, let's talk about the team you want to build. So it is a country board. So of course, you're going to want all of the country units, which are Thresh, Urgot, Samira, Tahm Kench, and Katarina. These are all your country units. They give you 5 out of 5 country. It's perfect, it's beautiful. But really, this is a Samira comp. That's the thing. Samira is your main carry in this comp, and so you really want to play around her and to her strengths. So to complement the rest of this board, you can throw in Set, who is also a 3-cost, Vex, who is also a 3-cost, and Amumu, also a 3-cost. So you can see we have a lot of 3-costs on this board, and the end of the board looks something like this. So you have Samira back here, Vex for Executioner, Amumu you get Emo, you get Guardian, that ties it with Thresh, Set gives Bruiser and Mosher for Urgot and Tahm Kench. Everything comes together really well. But as you can see, this is 8 units. And because of the headliner mechanic in this set, because you're going to be able to get a +1 to one of your traits, you're going to be able to drop one of these units. So figuring out your headliner is very important. Now, this may be up to debate, but I think the most important thing here, of course, is Samira. So Samira 3-star is key. This is your win condition, really. And the best thing you can get is a Country Samira headliner. With Country Samira, you can drop Katarina. The next best headliner you can get, if you're doing a roll down and you don't manage to get Samira as a headliner, I think your next best is actually Urgot headliner, Country Urgot. Even though, again, Samira is the primary carry here, having that +1 country is very important because you really want to play Vex on your board. Because let's say we don't have headliner Urgot. Let's say we get Executioner Samira. That's good, but now we have too many Executioners, so we have to drop Vex and play Katarina instead. And so we lose Emo, we lose some extra backland, we're playing Katarina instead. So I will, given the choice, my tier list effectively goes, first Country Samira, that's the best. Then Country Urgot as a fallback. And then worst case, if you're bleeding out, you need to get that 3-star Samira, you can go Executioner Samira. But let's focus on what the main board is going to be here. So we get rid of Katarina, we throw in Vex, we throw Vex back in here. And the more 3-stars, the better, of course. The country, the Dreadsteed scales with what your star levels are. So if you can 3-star Urgot, 3-star Set, he's going to be your main tank. It's very similar to the other one. Set is going to be your main tank in this comp. You'll get a 2-star Thresh at some point, hopefully. Sirens are going off per usual, just as I'm recording. Awesome. Put out that fire, guys. But yeah, so Set's going to be your main tank. Hopefully you can 3-star him. Again, Set is a very contested unit. This is the second video where he's the main tank, so as you can tell, he's very popular. Vex 3-star, if you can 3-star these units, you've guaranteed yourself good placement. And I think that's something to note about this comp, is that it is a consistent top 4 comp. It is very hard to win out, but it is still possible. But yeah, so this is the board, especially if you have that country +1, you can stay on level 7 for a long time. The one exception, I in most games, if I ever try to push 8 or 9, it generally doesn't work out unless I've 3-starred everything. Then of course start leveling up. But I would stay on level 7 and roll for as many 3-stars as you can. Maybe you get a Mumu in there as well. All of this is going to be very good for you. And so I would stay level 7. The one exception is if you manage to get yourself a country emblem, which I would throw on Vex, who you're likely going to 3-star again. The horse, the Dreadsteed scales with star levels, so throw it on somebody who's starred up. And then in that case, you're going to want to go 8, and you can get Katarina out there, which is very fun. So this is the main comp you're going for. If you don't manage to, let's say you have a Executioner Samira, well then you can play this board, you can throw in Katarina, and then you have to go, 9 and you have to go 9, and then you can potentially throw in, you know, say Karthus. Then you have 4 Executioner, so your Samira will be doing more damage. But by pushing level 9, you're likely not going to be able to get as many 3 stars, unless you're high rolling. If you're high rolling, awesome. And then the last thing, we'll talk about stats in a bit. We'll see if I'm proven wrong. But I would say that, you know, items, just general tank items on set, you can dump general tank items on Vex. Urgot is an excellent Thieves Glove holder. If you find yourself with too many gloves, by chance, you could throw a Thieves Glove on Urgot. But Samira herself wants a lot of gloves. And from my experience, her best build is an Infinity Edge, plus a Last Whisper, plus 1. Guardbreaker is an excellent choice here, if I can find it. Guardbreaker works here. I've had the most success with Giant Slayer. If you can force this build on Samira, you're going to rank very highly in your games. And a quick note is, of course, with Executioner, you know, you give yourself the ability to crit, but I've said this many times in my gameplay, so I'll say it again, is that Samira's ability, attacks that critically strike grant a stack of style, up to 6 stacks. Each stack grants 20% attack speed. So even though you're getting the ability for your abilities to crit with IE and with Executioner, you want her basic attacks to crit as much as possible. So just stacking more and more crit on her never hurts. Of course, crit over 100% gets thrown into extra crit strike damage. And then Infinity Edge, if you can already crit, which you can already with Executioner, then your holders, you gain 10% critical strike damage. So giving her that extra crit strike chance is worth it, even though, you know, it may be considered suboptimal. But this is kind of the board you're looking for. And yeah, so now we'll take a quick peek over at Augments and Items and see if I'm proven wrong at all. So now we're back at the Stats Explorer, where we can get some more info here. So of course we're going to start with Samira and put her at 3-star. And then we're going to see, you know, what goes well here. You know, obviously 5 Country, 2 Guardian is very good, 2 Executioner, 2 Bruiser. You know, the kind of the setup that we had over 2 Emo. You can see this is very good. 4 Executioner does rank well if you can pull it off. But it's not necessarily that good. It looks like if you can make it up to 4 Mosher or like 4 Emo or something, you can have some success with that. And 7 Country is your highest cap. So if you can get your Country Samira or your Country Urgot, and then a Country Emblem, it's going to be great. And also, you know, this is news that this is something that won't be relevant right now, but come the new year, the Country Spat will be craftable. So this comp will become a little bit weaker, but 7 Country will become much more viable. So keep that in mind. And so for items, you can see Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Giant Slayer. Like, those are just the 3 best. So it turns out my intuition was actually correct. And then some backup items. You know, if you end up with a bunch of swords, Deathblade isn't bad. Again, Guardbreaker works. Runan's Hurricane. But looking at these deltas, you can see Last Whisper and Infinity Edge. Those are the most important things that you want. And then for augments, 3's a crowd is absolutely insane. As you saw earlier, we play so many 3-cost units, and 3's a crowd gives you health for every 3-cost champion you play, so that's very powerful for you. You know, Heroic Grab Bag give you that 3-star easily. Bounty Hunters is a lot of fun. This makes your country units print money for you, and then you can use that money to keep on rerolling. Team building, you have my sword, you know, reroll stuff, so you can see it's a lot of, you know, you have the 3's a crowd, which is very good, but then a lot of reroll stuff that you need help with. Extra items, of course, if you're in a 3-star Urgot, you'd love to get items on him, same with Vex. Healing Orbs, Crash at Dummies, you know, and then it just kind of gets into your generally good items, but, you know, so it's definitely, you can see, it's focusing on hitting your 3 stars and itemizing them, and then plus, of course, the country-specific one, which is actually something that I get to show off in the gameplay, which we can check out now. Alright, and now we are into the gameplay. Let's see. Oh, I stopped it. No, let's play it. Let's play it. Okay, now we are into the gameplay. Excellent. So we're starting from the beginning again. Of course, like I said, I like to show off these early bits of the game, just because, you know, a lot of the decisions you make during the first 3 rounds, even though you're just up against creep rounds, and, you know, in previous sets these were kind of boring, but, you know, here there's a lot of decisions for you to make. So we end up on the portal Augment Payout, which means that we're going to get some money, and immediately we drop a Samira, and you can tell I'm very excited. There are a couple of go signals, I'll say, for country. One is if you natural the items you need. If you start with an Infinity Edge or a Last Whisper, it's very enticing to go for the comp. Also, if you start with Urgot, Samira, and and Tahm Kench, that is also a clear signal for you to go country. And so this is one of the comps, you know, with 3-cost reroll comps, it is possible to quote unquote force it. You know, I'm not necessarily forcing it because, you know, I have all the stuff, but you know, we'll make it happen. Make it work. And so here we can see the thing is that I got an econ start. I got a partial econ start. So I ended up actually selling the Tahm Kench pair so I could make 10 gold here. And now we're about to go into the augments. So we have to think, I have the country units, and I have a bow, which is excellent. That's half of my last whisper. But I also have a rod, and rod is actually kind of one of the worst items in the game right now, one of the worst components. There's not a ton you can do with it, and there's especially not a ton you can do with it if I'm trying to go for country. So immediately we have available to us, we have Blistering Strikes, Parting Gifts, and Pandora's Items. I'm not a big fan of Parting Gifts, just overall. Blistering Strikes is an excellent combat augment. If you don't have any better choices, this is almost always an insta-click. But because I kind of want to play Samira in country here, but my items aren't necessarily amazing for it, Pandora's Items becomes a little more enticing. And so I do my due diligence. I roll the other ones just to see if there's anything else. But no, it's Pandora's Items. That is the choice here. Because I'm playing country here. I want to make sure I can do it. And so the important thing is that we also want to be able to make sure that we're saving HP here. So, you know, you could be of one mind to full loss streak and kind of build up a healthy econ so that we can get up to, you know, have a lot of money working for us once we do our country roll down, which is going to be on level 7, of course. But, you know, we want to make sure we're saving HP. And country alone, because we have this Dreadsteed coming out, it's going to be very powerful for us. Of course, we're playing without a headliner, so we're down a headliner, but we're up a Dreadsteed. It kind of evens out, so I'm okay with loss streaking, but I want to make sure I preserve HP. And then I have a Katarina in my shop as well, which is incredible. And so we've rolled a sword and a tier on our bench. So I think the sword is going to be worth holding on to. The tier, we're going to keep it rolling. Because with Pandora's Items, especially with this comp, like I said, Samira is the primary focus. So I'm not going to be worried about itemizing Tahm Kench. I'm not going to be worried about itemizing, Urgot. I'm going to be using these early rounds to roll items specifically for my Samira and no one else. And I'm going to keep allowing my shops to just keep rolling past things. I have this Amumu available to me, and I'm going to aggressively level here. Even though, you know, I lost the previous round. I lost the first round. I won the previous round, and I have a pretty big spike here. I got Executioner in, and I have an Amumu on my board. Amumu, again, is something that we're definitely going to want. And like I said, we're going to be playing... You have to play a bit of tempo here. Because another thing I mentioned, you know, this comp isn't necessarily a win-out comp. There are some comps like Yone, which I do want to show off. Yone Reroll, that is a comp that is absolutely, if you hit, you can win out. Country... Not so much. You want to maintain a lot of HP. You want to spend all of your gold on 7, and you're going to take your top 3. In my experience, you know, unless you have very poor luck, you can almost certainly guarantee a top 3. So I go for the crit glove because I want to make sure I can make my Infinity Edge, and I think Infinity Edge is the most important thing here. And now we have an interesting choice, is where I have this Jinx in my shop, and I've been headlinerless. I'm holding on to a win streak. I kind of want to do something here. So I actually go ahead and I buy this Jinx for Rapidfire. That's going to give a taxi to my entire team. And Executioner isn't as crucial right now because I just made that Infinity Edge on Samira. So I lose effectively a little bit of crit chance, but I get myself Rapidfire on the board and I get myself a 2-star, you know, a 2-star unit. I get myself an actual headliner for once. And that makes me much more powerful, and it allows me to win that round. And I still make 20 gold, which is important. You know, we have to balance board strength and econ because, you know, we are playing reroll. We do need to make sure our econ is strong. So now we're at 28 gold, 3 streak. If we win or if we lose, you know, we rolled a last whisper. So there we go. We have perfect Samira items. We have our core items. Now we just need a plus. Now we just need a plus 1, which will ideally be Giant Slayer, especially since we have Pandora's items going for us. So now we're up against this guy. He has a Corki headliner with a red buff, extremely potent. Corki headliner is probably one of, if not the strongest headliner to get early in the game. So unfortunately we lost that, but we can sell the Katarina. We make 30. And now we start planning out our team. At this point, I'm saying, I mean, I've made perfect Samira items. No one else is doing it. So, and that's another thing too. There's an important thing to point out about when you're doing reroll comps is you got to scout, make sure no one else is contesting you, and also call it out. I like to go into chat and call it out. And now see here, I have an idea of making a guard breaker, but I say no, that's not optimal. I would much rather. Much rather go for the Giants there because I'm gonna be able to. But yeah, I don't know if you saw at the beginning, but I type out in chat. I say I think I'm playing country, guys. When you're in higher elos, generally people won't contest you. If I say I'm playing Samira and they go to my board and they see I have a Tahm Kench, Samira, and a Tahm Kench, Samira, and Urgot, smart players won't contest you. So maybe you'll get grief. Maybe someone else will decide, hey, I'm gonna play Samira as well, but that didn't happen here. And now we're up to the second augment, and we get bounty hunters, which statistically, I actually, playing this game, I wasn't doing my due diligence. I wasn't checking the stats, so I didn't realize it had such a good delta, but I wanted to have some fun. So bounty hunters, country champions have a 20% chance to drop 1 gold on kill. Your Dreadsteed's chances are doubled, and I gain a Samira. This is an absolutely amazing thing for my spot, especially with the Samira in my shop. So I'm going to pick that up. And now I have this Guardian Amumu headliner available to me. I'm level 6, and it's on level 7 that I'm going to want to roll for my Samira, get my 3 stars, get my headliner. So it's very unlikely to roll a 3-cost headliner at 6. So the fact that I can get one that's strong, it's a Guardian, which is you know, probably the best thing I can get on this Amumu. I go for it. I absolutely go for it. It's going to keep my front line strong. And now I have a very powerful board. I have a 2-star backliner. I have a 2-star frontliner. I have great augments. I have great econ. You know, this is the position you want to be in. You have to be, you know, I hear some people talk about, you know, there's of two minds. Some people really like the fast 9 meta. Some people like a 4-cost meta. I really like a reroll style gameplay. This is a lot of fun because I think there's a lot of skill expression in knowing when to go for rerolls and when not to. Where, you know, just going level 9 is, you know, it's a little boring. If all the endgame boards look the same, it's a little boring to me. But I digress. Point is that you need to identify spots where it's actually viable to play a reroll comp, and this is one of those spots. You know, I have the items, thanks to Pandora's items. I have the units. I'm uncontested. And I have the econ to support it. So, you know, I have the holy trinity of everything I need. And so from here we can chill. And so now when I'm playing a 3-cost reroll, and I'm committed to it at this point, what I like to do is that on stage 3-5, I'm going to level to 7, but I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to roll at all. I'm going to keep this Amumu because this Amumu is very potent. So level up to 7, play an extra unit, make a Bramble Vest, and then we just vibe. And then we're just going to chill here. We're not going to sell this Amumu. This Amumu is very strong. You know, I could sell him and I could roll for the Samira now, but then we'd be in an awkward position where, well, now I have a Samira headliner, but then I have a fully itemized Samira 2. Do I play them both? Who do I drop? You know, it puts us in an awkward position. So let us just play a strong board. We printed some money. Not enough, so we have to sell Katarina. Again, Katarina, ideally we don't end up playing. Katarina should not make your country board unless you're forced to take Executioner Samira or you have a country emblem. And then, of course, playing Katarina is awesome. But so we sell her. We don't need that. And we allow ourselves the econ back up. We're already back at 50 gold. We're on a juicy win streak, and I believe we should be able to keep this win streak. That's a strong-looking misfortune against us. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to get anything done. And I want to make a quick correction. I think I was there we go. Boom. Vex gets it done. Vex is so important. So I wanted to make a correction around Vex. And so you can see here, I do. Well, here I have so many things to talk about. So let's slow this down a bit. So I saw the Amumu. I start rolling. We're looking for this Samira. Vex is so important because of the CC she provides. She provides a mix of damage. She gives you some AP damage. She gives you CC, and you want to stack AP items on her. I think in that team comp rundown I did previously, I said you want to give her tank items. That's obviously not correct. You want to give her AP items. But there we go. We get our Giant Slayer on Samira, and now we can begin our roll down. 4-1 is when you do your 4-cost roll down. We get a Country Katarina offered to us, and I'm going to pass on that. I don't think, you want to play that. Katarina just doesn't fit in well. I think I was also I had a Uber Eats order that showed up while I was doing this, so I got extra dizzy. But now we're back to rolling, picking up everything. Katarinas you can mostly pass up, but Amumu's are good. And now I'm presented with a Country Urgot. And given that I roll a lot of gold and I didn't see a single Samira headliner, I'm going to go for this because I can get this Country Urgot and I can throw a Thieves Glove on him as well. Like I said, Thieves Glove is an excellent, excellent Urgot item. So I'm down, you know, because I'm answering a phone call from Uber Eats, I end up, you know, being down 5 country here, but I managed to get it done. And we've collected a lot of the pieces, and now Katarina can go. Now Katarina is no longer part of our plans. And now we have one more augment available to us. We have Teaming Up. You have My Sword, Gifts from the Fallen. You have My Sword, could be pretty good, but we already have all of our we have our items figured out. You know, we have a Thieves Gloves on Urgot. We have perfect Samira items. We could do this for the extra AD and then roll the item, but I don't think that's necessarily amazing. Teaming Up gives us a support item and 4 costs. We could roll Thresh, and also support items are great. And then Gifts from the Fallen, just generally good combat power. I'm going to avoid Gifts from the Fallen because, again, we are going to stay on level 7. So Gifts from the Fallen, the power comes from each time an ally dies, gain these stats again. We're not going to have that many allies. If we were pushing level 9 quickly, Gifts from the Fallen becomes much more valuable. You know, we have 2 more allies that are going to die to feed our last one. But if we're staying level 7, not so much. So you have My Sword, not interested in. Gifts from the Fallen, not necessarily interested in. So Teaming Up is the way to go. And we get 2 more Urgots in the shop. We're very close. We rolled 2 Blitzcranks, which isn't great. And we get a Black Cleaver, which actually isn't a bad item. We already have our penetration figured out. We already have a Last Whisper. So something that I overlooked in this game was that I have Pandora's items. So I could have re-rolled this Cleaver into a better support item. But, you know, it gives some pen for Vex, so it's all right. And now I keep rolling. You know, I have a lot of things to start up. I'm gonna go to pretty much to 10 every turn until I get all of my 3 stars. You know, this 3-star Urgot is huge. Again, he's not the primary carry, but you know, he is an amazing just, you know, mix of a tank and a damage dealer. You know, having him 3-starred is gonna be huge to the success of this comp. I'm holding on, and I'm holding on to everything. And like I said, When I first started playing this set and this comp, I thought you wanted to push level 8 and attempt to. I thought you wanted to push level 8 and attempt to kind of roll there. But now I've come to the realization that at 8 we don't really have anything to throw in. And look at me, I'm shaking this Urgot. Look at these Urgot items. Red buff Sterix, like his 2 best items. So this fight is almost like guaranteed to be won. And as you can see, I beat him. I beat the guy before he can even get his large gem to proc and give him some gold. So now we're in a position where we can econ for a little bit, but you know, we're gonna econ just so we can roll it right back down. And at this point on carousels, especially with Pandora's items, I'm looking for units. This Vex interests me. Also this belt, I can get a Warmogs onto my set right away. Again, I'm still of the opinion that Warmogs, Bramble, Dragonclaw, if you have the option to make tank items, perfect tank items, you make those. And so you can see I'm still rolling pretty aggressively. Like I said, this is, again, a tempo comp. I want to make sure that I don't lose a round and lose my streak because I'm playing a little too passively. Now, here's a guy that is going to cause some problems for me later I didn't notice. He has a 2-star set, it's a headliner, and he has 2 sets on his bench. This guy is going for set 3, clearly, and he has a duplicator as well. So I should recognize that and effectively give up on set 3. It should not be something I prioritize. But you'll see a little later into the game, I do end up prioritizing it, and it to my own failings, to my own demise. But as of right now, we're doing fine. You can see this guy, Punk, managed to get level 7, has a lot of 3-stars, but it doesn't matter. My team absolutely blows through it. Although, hold on a second. Yeah, my team blows through it. I thought that guy beat me or something, but yeah, no. Absolutely nutty. And so yeah, so now we're back up to 37 gold. You know, this win streak plus bounty hunters, we're getting so much gold a turn. You know, this heavily incentivizes us being aggressive. And of course, we need to be aggressive until we manage to get ourselves a Samira 3. That is the key here. So we roll it down again, we get Samira 2. I pop the anvil so I have more room on my bench. And now I do pass up some Alawis there, which is slightly questionable. But boom, there it is. Samira 3. So now I have Urgot 3, I have Samira 3, I'm 1 away from Vex 3. I'm building up an army of Amumus, and I'm building up an army of Sets. You know, what am I even going to level for? The argument could be made that perhaps I wanted to grab that Alawi and, you know, lean on that, perhaps make that my level 8 in. But you can't start being greedy and holding on to too many units until you have your core together. And now I recognize there's a Kai'Sa, so I'm putting my units. This is an important positioning tip. You put tanks on the outside and your carries in the middle, and this makes sure that if there is an enemy, not Kai'Sa, but Akali, if there's an enemy KDA Akali, this is how you can dodge it. But unfortunately, this positioning almost grieves me because Lux kept lasering my Samira. So thankfully, Urgot cleaned up. I get myself some perfect tank items on this set. And I have an open tier. I'll just throw that on a Mumu. You know, get him to cast a little bit sooner. Never going to hurt nobody. You know, we are in stage 5, so we're not getting any components anymore. At least we're not likely to. But here we go. This is where you can see. So now Samira goes for the Vex, but then she starts dashing back and forth between my tanks that I had positioned on the outside, which allows me to beat this guy, even though that is, you know, kind of a counter. Like, if you have a backline carry, KDA Akali is the counter, but you position correctly, and you can reverse counter it. So now I go for a Sunfire. I have no anti-heal. Anti-heal is very important in this set. So, you know, it may be more ideal to have, you know, maybe a Morello's on Vex, but a Sunfire on Thresh, it's going to do effectively the same thing. And now here I'm rolling. I really want this Vex. And I'm also have my eyes on a set 3. Of course, unbeknownst to me at this point in the game, that I have an opponent who is also attempting to go for a set 3. So we're slightly griefing each other. And it's unbelievable that, I mean, that fight was a Vex 3 diff. I remember saying to myself, like, that's a Vex 3 diff. Like, that Vex ult, it hit her and it stunned her, but they changed how abilities work, where if you're already channeling your ability as a stun comes in, the stun won't take effect until after the ability finishes. So that true damage Caitlyn was still able to get the ability off. But here we're up against another Caitlyn player, and we make quite light work of them. So now we have everything. So now I should scout and check to see how many sets are taken, because if there's too many taken, which, spoiler alert, there are too many taken out of the pool, we want to go 8. We want to go 8 here and just play any legendary we can. You know, if we can get a set in, or we can get an Alawi in again, you know, we can get a something else. And so we're going for items here. More tank items. We have plenty of damage. I pass up another Alawi, because look at me. I'm digging for this set. I pass up an Alawi. Unbelievable. And I'm only scouting the guys I'm fighting against. But that guy, there it is. He just hit his set 3. And so now I'm sitting here thinking, like, oof. Maybe I shouldn't have wasted all that gold. Maybe I should have just picked up Alawi and called it a day. And this guy also beats me. The Arya Kali combo is able to burst on my Urgot. So this is the point in the game where, you know, Country starts falling off a little bit. You know, of course, you know, I'll say it ad nauseum, but like getting that set 3 would have made a huge difference. But it wasn't possible. It wasn't possible for me to get that set 3. So as you can see here, I'm holding a Katarina on the bench. We do have a carousel coming up soon. I am leaning on the fact that it is potentially possible for me to get a Country emblem. And, you know, just holding onto a Katarina, as long as it doesn't break econ, is very smart to do. You know, just in case, just to make sure that if the opportunity presents itself, I am ready to take advantage of it. And so now I'm checking to see how much damage Ahri does, which, spoiler alert, it's a lot. And it's this Armin Aralet is the guy that is holding on to the sets. So I'm keeping my eye on his health, seeing that when he dies, will he make it possible for me to hit this set 3? So I knock out Bambo. Armin Arlet dies, and so this is my chance to go for set 3. So I'm going out here. I probably want another tank item. Ooh, actually I go for a guard breaker. I see. Yeah, let's itemize Vex. Let's make sure that our 3-star has some stuff. And so we do our roll down again. And here I actually grab the Alawi. And I don't know if you noticed, but I want to make a point of this here. So we'll rewind a bit and slow down this roll down. So now I know he's dead. I know sets are back in the pool. Let's roll for him. So I'm rolling down. And now finally I see the Alawi and I'm like, maybe I should play this. So I check to see how much gold it is to level, and it's 12. So I say, fine, I'll roll till 12, but then I'm gonna level for this Alawi because I cannot, you know, I can't stay the same strength. I need to get somewhat stronger. And of course I have my tentacles on the outside, which will be perfect Akali bait. And do I move my Samira? I don't. How interesting. I keep my Samira in the center, which I guess is fine because you are up against a true damage board. So it's nothing too shabby there. And Samira almost takes it down, but you can see we're bleeding out here. We need something big. So now I'm starting to grab on Muumuus, and we're certainly terminal on level 8. We won't be going any further. I see no need to roll right now. Win or lose, I'm not gonna die, so might as well allow ourselves to get one more chance at building up some more econ. Unfortunately, we have a ghost fight here. You can see Akali is just dashing side to side, going for those tentacles. Doesn't get near my Samira, which allows me to make light work. Of course, it also was a ghost board. That's also something to consider. But we got it done. It's now their last stand. Now, and as you can see, we've gotten this far, and I'll slow it down for the remainder of this video so we can watch these fights. But you know, as you can see, you know, we had insane power. Stage 3 or stage 4 and stage 5, we were incredibly powerful with this board. Now that we're on stage 6, and it's actually incredible, we made it to stage 7. You can see that we're starting to get a little bit weaker. We don't have the exact you know, dominance we did earlier. But I'm still rolling here, seeing if I can hit some stuff. I'm one off of a Mumu, a couple off a set. I'm saying I'm not 3-starring. I'm not 2-starring Alawi. Like, let's be real. And we just grab one more tank item. Let's get ourselves a final tank item. See if we're strong enough. We're guaranteed top 2 here. We preserved enough HP and we were very strong. Where, you know, we have a 1 health and a 2 health guy. There's no chance that that they both outlive me, right, with 39 HP. And this guy went level 10, which is incredibly dangerous for us. And Akali did manage to get onto my Samira, which is incredibly also dangerous for us, unfortunately. We got this Vex, and her ability doesn't crit there, unfortunately. Big Sun out of Thresh, but Urgot has all tanky items. You know, we take a small loss, but we aren't able to win it, unfortunately. But there we go. We're guaranteed top 2. I have 20 HP. So I roll it down. And now here, truthfully, I should sell these Muumuus. I should sell my set on board, sell the sets on my bench, and roll for the Amumu 3-star. See if I can make that happen. That's going to be optimal. Obviously, I want to roll for the one that I'm closest to and get those items onto Amumu, who, you know, would be a beast. I said set is your primary tank, but if you 3-star Amumu, you know, definitely go for that as well. But I greed it a little bit here. And I say, you know what, I'll make those dangerous maneuvers next round. Unfortunately, the thing that I don't consider is that we are on stage 7. And this guy is level 10. So any loss I take is going to be extremely painful. But it looks like my little reposition did do some good work for me. I'm able to, you know, crack through all of that. And, you know, only taking a 3-unit loss here. But, to my surprise, a 3-unit loss is 20 HP gone in this stage of the game. But hey, that's a second place. You know, I feel kind of silly uploading a couple second places, but I think this also kind of highlights the core of Country, is that this Country is not is generally not a first place comp. Had I gotten a Country emblem at some point, if I got very lucky and got a Country emblem, that's how you guarantee yourself a first place. But if you're able to tempo throughout stages 2 and 3, hit your board on stage 4, you will be able to dominate stage 4 and 5, and then slowly bleed out on stage 6 and 7 into a nice little top 4. And of course, Not every game can be an amazing, you know, top one tuber worthy, but you know, if you want to climb the ladder, this is an excellent way to do it. So I hope you all enjoyed this quick little deep dive into Country. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see some dives into more comps just like this. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye bye.